What a great day to be an American. It's Major Ed Pulido, United States Army, retired. And for those of you that know me, I'm with the John Daly Major Ed Heart of a Lion Foundation. Of course, mental and physical and wellness support for our nation's children, America's veterans and their families, and our first responders is extremely important for us. And today I have the privilege and the honor of interviewing my good friend Nathan Richter, and I'm gonna tell you that he's doing some outstanding work in regards to our cannabis movement here in the state of Oklahoma. And I'm gonna let Nathan talk a little bit about what he's doing, his company, and the importance of having a great quality of life. Nathan?
Major, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you allowing me to come on your show. Again, my name is Nathan Richter. I'm the CEO at Nature's Key Edibles. It's a cannabis processing company in Oklahoma City. We work in Oklahoma's cannabis market, focusing solely on health and wellness as it relates to cannabis and using that in your daily life to overcome anxiety, stress, sleep, maybe some pain and things like that. So at Nature's Key, we focus on the edible side of things. We tend to focus more on the health and wellness side of cannabis. So we're not against smoking, we're not against vaping, but we know that those are not methods of consumption that are ideal for health and wellness. So we primarily focus on edibles. We make gummies, chocolates, brownies, and we also make Battle Buddy, which is a capsule that we're going to talk a little bit about today. Really excited to be here and really excited to talk to your listeners about cannabis and health and wellness with cannabis.
Well, tell me a little bit about your history and how you got into this market. I mean, in Oklahoma right now, these things are booming, and I got an opportunity to also speak to our state legislators about this. There's legislation coming down the pike that we're looking at having Oklahoma do it the right way. I know that some other states have been working on this for many years, but the one thing that makes Oklahoma unique is we have an opportunity to do it right with the right legislation, the right medical processes. Our veterans are actually being a part of this movement as well. And the general public, having doctors involved, having chemists and other people that are involved in the industry to have some type of good regulation that really makes it an impact. But it's always good for the viewership to know what got you started, what got you pumped up. Because when we met, one of the things that really kind of inspired me about you and the team was that this is not about this recreational piece. It might be a part of that, yes. It's more about the movement for professionals, for other people in the sector that maybe we don't ever talk about, that these are products that they can utilize and actually improve their quality of life. So tell us a little bit about that.
So cannabis is transformative. We know that, and we know that it's transformative in a lot of different ways. I come from a background, I'm a soldier like you, I'm a lawyer, I'm a former geneticist, and so I got into cannabis because of PTSD and some related issues with my service. Cannabis helped me overcome some sleep issues that really improved my performance, my cognition, my function, and my passion for the plant is to bring that same transformative phenomenon really to all professionals, to all people who grew up in the DARE world like me. I was an advocate for the DARE programs at school, and we were taught that cannabis was this sort of horrible plant, horrible drug that causes people to sit on the couch and do nothing but play video games and eat Cheetos all day long. That's just so wrong. What we really found is that cannabis does a really, really good job of modulating your body systems and bringing you into balance. And when your body's in balance, this giant chemistry experiment that you are walking around the world, when your chemistry's in balance, you find that you perform better, you think more clearly, you sleep better, you function better, you're more efficient, you're able to navigate life's challenges with less anxiety, less stress. Why? Because your chemistry's in check. With Battle Buddy, for example, we've developed through using a doctor's proprietary formula, we've developed this product to address those issues of anxiety and stress and PTSD. And we know that with cannabis, the way it binds in your body's system, the way it works within your endocannabinoid system, it really does bring that homeostasis that allows you to perform much better than you would ordinarily, much better than you would if you're on, say, using alcohol to go to sleep at night, or trying to cope with, the stresses of the day with comfort food, like let's go get a chicken fried steak and some gravy. Yeah. You're gonna sleep as well as you would if you just said, hey, I'm gonna eat healthy, but I'm also gonna try this cannabis. It's gonna help me go to sleep at night. So my why behind it is I have a strong passion for people. I have a strong passion for vets. I have a strong passion for mental health and wellness as a whole. And I feel like the only way that you can really treat people and treat them well, and doctors have confirmed this, is you can't just prescribe a medicine to combat one problem because it's going to give rise to another problem. And then you get into this medicine to fight all these side effects and these secondary conditions that come up. With cannabis, you can treat the root cause, which is you're out of balance. Once you're in balance, now doctors can really go to work and they can start prescribing medications or supplements that really help address the root cause once your chemistry's in balance. And that's what cannabis is all about, and that's the stigma that we're trying to break. And we're trying to educate people on cannabis as a wellness product, as a health and wellness supplement, not just a product that would supplant or take the place of modern day pharmacy. We know that doctors and pharmacists and scientists have created wonderful medications that help us that we're always going to need. But what they haven't done is they've not been able to find a product that brings your body and your systems into a balance that allows your body to do what it does so well, which is regenerate itself, heal itself, and really drive your experience on this planet. So I'm really passionate about cannabis as a medicine, and I'm really passionate about helping professionals like me and others overcome the stigma and really figure out how to find their therapeutic dose so that they can function better every single day.
Yeah, and one of the things that we find too, and the work that I'm doing now, I just met with some folks from Hobart Biosciences, and Mike Harriman, who we'll hear from later, is a veteran, very astute, knowledgeable. One of the things that's so powerful about his story that I talk about is the fact that, he was on a lot of pharmaceuticals. And again, I have no issues with any of those things if they're done for the right reasons. But I think one of the things that he talks about and people will hear about is the fact that he was able to get off a lot of these medications. In fact, it was what we call the fog wounds of being home and not really knowing what your environment is, the motivation, the inspiration, the dedication that he has to want to do things for others and for himself. And at times it was one of those things where he was in the home and he didn't want to leave. And, from a social environment, there's a lot of veterans to deal with that. And so what we're trying to do here is that we want to make sure that veterans improve their quality of life, are getting out, doing the things that they used to do before. I know that, war does change all of us. I'm a byproduct of that. I hit a 250-pound roadside bomb in Bakuba, Iraq, and lost my left leg. So what this testimony for me does is the fact that I'm promoting something that I think will heal our service members that come back from not only combat and or from the stressors of everyday life. And then with the epidemic of this pandemic and the anxiety behind it, tell us a little bit about why this is important and why people should be on this product.
I really appreciate you asking that question, because we all know when we've talked with veterans, and I'll focus on that group of people first. When we talk to veterans and we know that they suffer from the invisible scars of war. There's no question that going to a war zone and living every single day in an environment where your life is literally in jeopardy, whether you leave the fob or not, it really has an impact on that soldier's mental health when they return back to the United States and they are reacclimated, if you will, to American society that's less dangerous. I have an immense gratitude for the men and women in uniform who raised their right hand and swore an oath to defend this country and to defend my right to be able to work in the cannabis industry, to be a lawyer, to be a dad, to be a husband, to be a brother, all of those things that we by and large take for granted every day. With COVID-19, it's interesting you bring it up, because what we're seeing is our first responders are having the same types of post-traumatic stress in their life. They're going to work every single day dealing with this COVID pandemic and number of beds not being available and people dying and people getting really sick and being on ventilators. And every single day they're going to war, in a sense,
yes,
in their hospitals and in their clinics. And they're starting to see the fatigue from that, the burnout, the depression, the anxiety. They're like, when's it gonna end? Oh my goodness. All of that stuff happens in our bodies because chemically we get out of balance. Our body quits making a natural cannabinoid that we have called anandamide. And at Nature's Key, we work really closely with integrative cannabis doctors who read and study these types of things so that we understand that when we put out a product like Battle Buddy, it's backed by science. It's not just Nathan or his team standing up there saying, hey guys, try this, it's great. It's backed by science and it's backed by studies that we know help people come into the balance that we need. And what we found, especially with veterans and especially with first responders and especially with folks that have had some stress in their life, The trauma rewires your brain. It rewires your nervous system, and you start to learn how to cope with the stress and the trauma and the anxiety from whatever it was that caused that trauma. What the studies have shown, and in 2 separate studies we found, that people who suffer any kind of trauma, right, they're naturally produced cannabinoid in their body. It's called anandamide. We all have it, we all make it. But when we have a traumatic event in our life that causes us to have stress, we have lower levels of that anandamide. Our body doesn't produce enough. What happens when we have lower levels is that our body tries to compensate with other hormones and other chemicals and other, stuff in the body to try to balance it out, and it can't. And so then you start to feel fog. You hear people talk about, well, I was foggy all day long, or just couldn't really get through the fog of that day. Or you have people who say things like, well, the world just kind of moved in slow motion today. I just really wasn't there. Well, you're not there because that anandamide isn't present in your body. What CBD does is it doesn't replace it. It binds to those ECS receptors in your nervous system, and it allows your nervous system to start, oh, okay, well, now that CBD is present, my levels of anandamide begin to balance out, and I begin to feel better. So the beauty of what CBD does within the body is that it brings everything into balance so your body can do what it already is doing, which is making these natural compounds that bring you into balance. That's what we do at Nature's Key. That's what Battle Buddy's designed to do. It's designed for a veteran, and I'm sure you've had this situation come up. I can't tell you how many times I've been on the phone with a soldier late at night talking them off the ledge. They've been coping with alcohol. They're in that cycle of depressive thought processes and negative thought processes, and everything's bad. Everything's bad. And you're on the phone and you're trying to talk them off, and you're like, quit drinking. You just put the phone down and go to bed. And you never know if you're going to wake up the next morning and go, well, that soldier may have made a really bad decision that night.
Yeah.
And we've all had those friends of ours who've unfortunately made that decision. I went to our integrative cannabis doctor and I said, Doctor, I'm frankly tired of burying soldiers. I'm tired that of the talk that we all, we want to support soldiers, we want to care for them, we want to provide them with the best care, and then we put up a slogan about how 22 of them commit suicide every hour, but we're not doing anything about it. You and your foundations have done an amazing job to bring awareness. The rest of the country's doing an amazing job to bring awareness. This was our slice of trying to help. So with a Battle Buddy in your pocket, when people get to that point in their life where it's just sort of hopeless, Battle Buddy will bring them into balance and let them take a step back, take a breath, and go, wait a minute. It's not hopeless. There's hope here. I still have purpose. I still have value. I still have a way to help move this world forward despite what's happened to me, because, again, we're bringing people into balance. Yeah. And that's the purpose of the product. There is a feature that our cannabis doctor talks about with cannabis that is called memory extinction. And it's a really important part of how your body processes information that and experiences that you've had that day. When you go to sleep at night, oftentimes your body naturally extinguishes the memories of the day so that you can rest and go to sleep. But oftentimes when people have trauma, they can't extinguish those memories.
Yes.
When they lay down to go to sleep at night, it's image after image after image that pops into their head, and they realize that they can't fall asleep because of what's going on upstairs, as I like to call it. What Battle Buddy and the formula that we use is designed to do is help that with that memory extinction so that your body can relax, your mind can relax, and then you can naturally fall asleep and stay asleep, getting that full, deep REM sleep that you need to rest, recuperate, recover, so that the next morning when you wake up, you feel refreshed, energetic, focused, and ready to go. We've seen that with veterans. We've seen that with non-veterans, civilians. We've seen it with first responders. We've seen it with victims of traumatic incidences. So really what Battle Buddy, although we designed it for veterans, it's applicable across really anybody who suffers stress and trauma on a day-to-day basis.
Is there other things that you may want to let the general public know, specifically when we're talking about active duty military and first responders and people that are working on the front lines in hospitals? Because what we don't want is any misconceptions about the product.
Yes, sir, and thank you. So cannabis has a dual, sort of a bipolar personality. We all have heard the stigma with Delta-9, the psychoactive component of cannabis. I like to refer to that as the Mr. Hyde version. And then you have the Dr. Jekyll version, which is the CBD. With Battle Buddy in particular, the formula does not contain any Delta-9 THC.
Okay.
So our first responders, our veterans who may be receiving VA benefits or using federal facilities for
and getting
benefits,
tested, yeah,
and getting tested, they're concerned about one thing: is this going to show up hot on a drug test, or am I going to get quote high? And the answer to the first one is it's possible that by using Battle Buddy, it may show up on a drug test. However, there is no Delta-9 THC in this product at all. It will not get you high. That is not the purpose of it. Additionally, I think it's important to know that with most cannabis products around the country, and frankly, specifically CBD, those products oftentimes are really pricey. Because of the science and the technology that it took to create those products, and the fact that it's kind of a newer market, right? You see higher prices in the cannabis industry than you would normally see when you're talking about supplements. We wanted people to be able to purchase this on a budget. So with our month-long supply, for example, we priced it under $40 so that would rival a copay that somebody would pay if they were going to get an antidepressant medication.
That's a great strategy, yes.
With our week supply, we essentially cut that in half. I mean, for $15, you can try a week's supply of Battle Buddy, and it's not gonna break the bank. It's not like other cannabis products out there that might cost you $100 or $75, and you don't necessarily know what you're gonna get. We wanted to price it in a way that was make it affordable for people and give them the ability to try it without breaking the bank.
Well, and one of the things that we wanted to do today is really launch what we call Battle Buddy Nation. And I will tell you, it's like joining the nation, joining the campaign, joining this incredible opportunity to be a difference maker, and not only in your community, but for someone else. And to me, when you help someone else, what's really happening is you're helping yourself. You're growing, you're feeling good, and this product is about that. So what you're gonna hear more about is this product, joining the Battle Buddy Nation, being a part of our infrastructure, our support system, and understanding that, you know what, our goal here is to not ever leave anyone behind on the field of battle and on the home front here in America. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your due diligence and learning a little bit about what we're trying to do here. Nathan, thank you for what you're doing. Nature's key, baby, right?
Nature's key, baby. Join the Battle Buddy Nation.
That's right. And so come join us. Let's get on it. Let's do something powerful, and let's save lives. God bless the United States of America. Major Ed with the Heart of a Lion Foundation signing out. Hoorah!